and welcome to the Farside Podcast. I'm Landon Miker, your host, and this is the first ever episode for our series. As you know, Farside Films is known for creating short films and recently reviews of NTD Films' work, their episodes, their just work they've done all around. And I think we've been doing reviews. We did about, their first 6-7 episodes, and then we kind of stopped doing that, as you guys know. We also did some fact videos, like 10 facts you didn't know about Noah Davidson, 6 more facts you didn't know about Noah Davidson. So we really got into the Dickinson talk. But today we're here to do a podcast. And if you think, well, Landon, why are you stopping with NTD? I'm not, actually, because I'm going to be talking about NTD a lot. And I'm saying a lot, people, on this show. In fact, I have some exciting news to tell you guys. I got to write NTD's episode for this week. So as you know, NTD Films, they're a YouTube channel that's, they got about 35 subscribers right now as of this moment in time. And they create weekly, more like every once in a while, every 2 weeks maybe, videos. And they've been doing this series for the longest time about these 5 characters. And just 5 characters, just talking about them, doing different episodes about them, and I think they've been doing really good on that. They've been improving. It started off a bit weak, but they've been getting better, and I'm going to introduce you to those 5 characters right now. And by the way, what NTD Films stands for those of you who don't know, because people always ask me, or ask Noah, what does NTD stand for? And Noah doesn't really like to tell people, but NTD stands for Noah Thomas Davidson. Noah Thomas Davidson is the creator, the name of the creator, director, producer, actor. He's the one who created NTD Films, the YouTube channel. He directs the videos, he writes the videos, or so he says he writes them. He doesn't really write them that much. But he's like the creator of the channel. Okay, so without further ado here, I'm going to introduce you a little bit to each of the characters in the NTD Films series. So, the main character of the series, or so I believe is the main character of the series, is Reggie Walker. Originally, the series was supposed to revolve around 2 characters, Jayden and Reggie Walker, brothers, but it's kind of followed the younger brother, who's about 11 or 12, named Reggie. Reggie, he's very he's like a jock. He's very sporty, athletic, but he's also your kind of average, everyday main character kind of guy. You also got Reggie's 2 friends. There's Sirius McKay is his last name. Not many people know that, actually, but it's Sirius McKay. He's the funny, goofy, nerdy guy. He likes Harry Potter. He likes magic. Not saying that everyone who likes Harry Potter is nerds, but they kind of are. Sorry about that. If you're a huge Harry Potter fan, it's stereotyped as being a nerd. So he loves Harry Potter. He has a wand, which he believes is real. It's I guess not. And he believes in magic, but his friends don't. So he kind of just gets he's kind of alone in that. I don't even know what you'd call that. He's just alone, and he's the odd one out, I guess you could say. He's just there's Reggie's other friend who's Joe Cool is his nickname, but his real name is Robert Puffington, I believe. And he's pretty much a kid. He's really rich, although you wouldn't really know that because NTD is terrible at character development. I'm not gonna go here and complain about NTD, but if there's one thing they need to work on is their character development. They suck at that. And so Robert, he's the rich one. He always wears he's also the cool one. He wears big sunglasses that take up half his face. Don't know where that's cool. And he wears either a baseball cap or a toque on his head or some sort of hat on his head with a big bulky jacket. And, he's a big black bulky jacket. He's all just cool, I guess, or what would be stereotyped as cool. And he's got he had a deep voice. I don't know if he's really stuck to that. But Robert hasn't been in it recently, so that's kind of a disappointment. Then there is the 2 older characters who we don't see quite as much. There's Jayden Walker, who I'm just going to say he's the weird one. I don't know what he is, to be honest with you. I mean, I think he's supposed to be about 14, 15. To me, he's 5, but whatever. He has a very high-pitched voice. He's he always carries around that stuffed pig wherever he goes. He really likes pigs, I guess. I don't know. And he also likes Lego, because if you watch the start of every episode he's in, he's pretty much always playing with Lego. Not the start of every episode he's in, but most episodes he's been in. Maybe not. I don't think he played with Lego in the Fortune Cookie, but yeah, he likes Lego. He likes pigs. What else is there to say about him? Anyways, so on to the main story. That's the basis of NTD. Oh, and I forgot to introduce the last character. There's my character, because, by the way, I'm in this series, guys. Yes, I am. I don't know if I should be proud about that or ashamed of that. But I play Jack LaFrance, who is just a guy. All we know about him is he's an artist, because, again, the horrible character development brought to you by NTD Films shows that they don't know how to develop characters. But we know I'm an artist, and we know I am Jack LaFrance, I guess. I don't know. We don't know anything about me yet, or probably ever. But anyways, I was given the opportunity because I'm friends with the NTD, Noah Thomas Davidson. I'm friends with the creator, Noah Thomas Davidson, Noah, whatever you want to call him. No. I've been told he likes to be called No. So if you want to call him No. I'm friends with him, and he asked me, because he has trouble sometimes thinking of episode ideas, right? Because when you have to do a video every week or 2 weeks, whenever they do it, you run out of ideas. And so he asked me if I'd like to write an episode, and I thought, yeah, of course I'd like to write an episode. That would be an honor. And so he said, okay, well, we're filming this weekend. Can you write one over the course of the week? And he asked me that. So they were going to be filming either Saturday or Sunday of next weekend. He asked me on about a Tuesday if I'd like to write an NTD Films episode. And so I said, of course I will do that for you. And he just said, I'd like to review it before, you give it to me and they start acting it out, because it could be inappropriate or something, but I ain't going to do that. Y'all and your arousedness and stuff. I don't know. He thought maybe there's going to be full erections on Reggie in there or something. I don't know. But anyways, I decided I'd get right to writing the episode. And the episode I decided to write is called, and I had to think about it for a while. I had to, sit there for a day or two. And I decided I was going to call it Jayden The Babysitter. So my episode is Jayden The Babysitter that I wrote. And the characters included in this episode are Reggie, Jayden, Mrs. Walker, who is Reggie and Jayden's mother, Mr. and Mrs. Puffington, who we've never seen before, but they're Joe Cool's parents. So Joe Cool, the character I was talking about, his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Puffington, are in this a bit. And then there's Joey Cool, who is a new character entirely. But as you can guess by the name Joey Cool, he's Joe Cool's little brother. He's gonna be, because I got to create him. Yeah, NTD, I'm creating a character for y'all. Hope ya suck on that real hard. And I'll probably develop him better than all your characters have been developed over the course of 5 or 6 episodes each they've been in. And I'm going to put this guy in one episode and develop him better than all your characters. So suck it. Joey Cool is going to be 7 years old, and he's going to be like a brat. He has red curly hair and freckles. And he's just a brat. Okay, guys? Brat. So that's what you can think about him for now, if you feel inclined to. And anyway, so that's Joey Cool. He's also in this episode. So Jayden The Babysitter. Let's start off with scene 1 here. Scene opens up with a shot of a Lego spaceship and a hand picking it up. Hand is thought to be Jayden, but when the camera zooms out, it's actually Miss Walker. So it's kind of like a optical illusion type thing, but it's not. Because you're thinking that it's going to be Jayden playing with Lego, but really it's Miss Walker picking up the spaceship. Miss Walker then says, Jayden needs to learn to clean up his messes of Lego. So she's mad at him because he left Lego all over the place. The doorbell then rings, and then I put note to editor, put in doorbell sound effect because they're kind of stupid, so they might not figure that out. And then Miss Walker says, that must be Mr. and Mrs. Puffington. So Miss Walker goes over and opens the door. Miss Walker then says, well, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Puffington. And they both respond, this is Mr. and Mrs. Puffington, by saying hello back. Both Mr. and Mrs. Puffington step into the house, uninvited, I guess, because she didn't say, come in or anything, but they step in, as well as Joey Cool and Joe Cool. And then Miss Walker says, oh, hi, Joe Cool. She pauses, and then she says, and you are? And looks down at Joey Cool. Joe Cool says, that's my little brother Joey, but everyone calls him Joey Cool, because I'm Joe Cool and all. And Miss Walker says, okay, and I'm babysitting Joey, is that right? And Mr. and Mrs. Puffington both say, correct. Miss Walker then says, hey, Joe Cool, I heard you're receiving an award at school today. So that's why they're babysitting Joey Cool, is because Mr. and Mrs. Puffington are taking Joe Cool to the school to receive an award. And Joe Cool says, yeah, that's where we're going right now, in his deep voice. And then Miss Walker says, well, congrats, buddy. Too bad Reggie doesn't put in as much time studying as he does playing football. So there's some character development for you, NTD. You might want to pick up that. So yeah, he just he plays football a lot, is what I'm saying there. You know, in case you didn't get that right. So then Joe Cool says, hey, where is Reggie? And Miss Walker says, he's still sleeping. Sigh. That useless kid. So she doesn't like Reggie, apparently. And then Mrs. Puffington says, well, I guess we better be going. Pause. Oh, and thank you for looking after Joey. I'll pay you the $1,000 when I pick him up. And then Miss Walker's face lights up with excitement because she didn't know she was going to get $1,000. And she says, well, I mean, gosh, really? Okay, sounds terrific. So she's just like, blown away by this, right? Okay. And then that's the end of scene 1. So scene 2 is beginning here. Joey Cool is shown standing on a chair at the kitchen table as he drops Jane's Lego spaceship and it smashes on the floor. And he starts screaming in excitement. So he's being really bratty here. This is that character development I was talking about, right? You know what that is, NTD, right? Okay. And then Miss Walker, who is cooking on the oven, looks over and shakes her head. She's just like annoyed with him, but doesn't really want to tell him to stop. Joey then jumps off the chair and lands on the spaceship, flattening the pieces. He just annihilated that spaceship, guys. Like, boom, it's gone. Okay. Joey, oh no, okay, wait, where are we here? Oh yeah, Joey Cool. He says, woohoo! And screams it as loud as he can. Miss Walker says, hey, Joey, why don't you go into the other room and watch TV? Holding her head in pain. So she has a headache, by the way, NTD. Hope you got that. And then the camera now shows Reggie awakening to all the noise and getting out of bed and walking down the hallway. As he approaches the stairs, a leg sticks out and he trips over it and goes flying down the stairs. So by the way, we cut from Miss Walker holding her head in pain to Reggie getting out of bed, and then he gets tripped and goes flying down the stairs. Joey then laughs as Reggie falls down the stairs. So Joey trips him and knocks him down the stairs, right? Showing that bratness. Guys, again, character development. Miss Walker comes running into the room, and Miss Walker says, what's going on in here? And Reggie says, ouch, my arm, I think it's broken. And Miss Walker says, how did that happen? Reggie says, that kid stuck out his leg and he tripped me as I was walking down the stairs. So Reggie's kind of, upset right now. And Miss Walker says, okay, Reggie, I'll get you to the hospital. I just have to wake up Jayden first. So then scene cuts to Jayden opening his eyes, sitting up in bed, and Miss Walker says, Jayden, I'm taking Reggie to the hospital. I think he broke his arm. So I need you to babysit Joe Cool's little brother. And Jayden just says, oh, okay, half asleep or something like that in his extremely high-pitched voice. And Miss Walker says, thanks, I'll be back soon. End of scene 2. So we're now getting near the end of this. Sorry, guys, it's a very long podcast here, but that's just the first one. Anyways, here we go. End of scene 2, beginning of scene 3 here. Jane is sitting at the kitchen table trying to put back together his Lego spaceship. Meanwhile, Joey Cool is smashing bowls and glasses against the kitchen floor. So he's just being bad. And then he says, I'm starving. Can you get me something to eat? So he's like whining right now, guys. For those of you who don't know. What whining is, I don't know. And then Jane says, no, I'm trying to fix my Lego spaceship that you broke. And they match each other's voices because Jane talks like a 7-year-old or however old I said Joey Cool was. And Joey sighs and says, I guess I'll just get myself something to eat. And then Joey goes to the cupboard and comes back with a bag of chips. Jane then grabs the chip bag out of Joey's hand. And he says, Jane says, thanks for getting me that. Can you also get me some chips? And Joey Cool sighs and walks over to the fridge and pours him a glass of juice. Then gives the juice to Jane. Jane says, thanks. Now get lost. I need to focus on fixing this. And Joey stomps out of the kitchen in anger and mutters under his breath, you're the worst babysitter ever. And Jane says, hey, cut it out with the attitude, or I'll tell your parents that you have a crush on my mom. So Jane's just throwing out random crap right now. And Joey runs out of the room in embarrassment. So I guess he has a crush on Jane's mom. I hope NTD doesn't ban that. Oh, them and their inappropriate stuff. Anyway, so end of scene 3, beginning of scene 4. We're at the end now, guys. A title pops up on the screen saying 2 hours later, so the editors are going to put that in. Miss Walker walks in the door with Reggie, whose arm is in a cast. Miss Walker says, "Okay, Reggie, you all right?" And Reggie says, "Not really." And then Jayden walks into the scene holding his stuffed pig with a weird smile on his face. Oh, guys, what could that be? And Miss Walker says, "Hello, Jayden, where's Joey?" And then Jayden replies, "His parents already picked him up." Miss Walker says, "Oh, okay." And Reggie says, "That kid tripped me down the stairs, and now I have a broken arm." And Jayden says, "I see that." Very loud, because Jayden's voice is very loud. And Miss Walker says, "Did Mrs. Puffington pay you?" And Jayden says, "Yes, she did." And then Miss Walker says, "How much?" And Jayden says, $1,000. And by the way, but the reason I'm making his voice so inconsistent for those of you out there is because his voice is just so inconsistent. It's like, some days it's high, some days it's as low as Joe Cool's. I don't know. Anyway, so Jayden says $1,000, and then Miss Walker says, "Can I please have the money?" And Jayden says, "No, I spent it." And then Miss Walker says, "All of it?" And Jayden says, "Yep." And then Miss Walker's like, "On what?" Big climax build there, and Jayden responds with, "Spent it, Finners." That's the end of that episode for y'all. I'm not actually American here. I'm not going all y'all out on y'all. But anyways, guys, that's it for this podcast, and that's my episode. Jayden the Babysitter. I hope NTD doesn't ban it. If they do, that would be a big disappointment. I'll have another podcast coming out hopefully later this week. Hopefully around, I'm hoping, Friday, as this one will be coming out, like I said, Wednesday night, guys. NTD Films, by the way, they also have 2 other YouTube channels, one known as NTD Reviews, which they review movies and just videos, and one called NTD Games, where they make gaming videos and how-tos. So, there will be more talk on NTD Films next time. Look for Jayden the Babysitter, as it will be, hopefully, next week's episode. Although NTD might ban it. I'm not sure I know what Thomas Davidson thinks about that. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. That has been the first edition of the Farside Podcast. Another edition coming your way Friday. But for now, I'm signing out. Goodbye, guys. I hope you have a great day.